Good day. I'm Kenneth Demers for Psychic Holistic Spotlight, and tonight we are going to be tapping into the wisdom of Doris Bridgehouse on the subject of numerology. We're going to do personal life years, and what was the other one?
Life path and personal year.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know what a life path is, so why don't you tell us what that is?
Oh, okay. Well, we just had a show, and that will be shown first, and this will be our second show. Mm-hmm. And we ran out of time, so we didn't get to tell people how to do.
These people didn't see that show.
Well, we ran out of time, and I like to tell people how to do their life path number. Your life path number, I'll give you the meaning on it. The life path number is how you work with the outside world, how you approach the world. So your personality is the numbers, I would say the letters in your name. It has to be a certified name. You put those all together, and then you look up the alphabet, like the number 1 is A, number 2 is B, and you put all those numbers together and you break them down 1 to 9, or the master numbers 11 and 22. I'm going a little fast, but you'll catch up. The life path number, that's your personality. The life path number is how you see things from the outside. And you do that with your birthday, all right? So you would add up your birthday, so your year, your day, and your month, and just add that up. And then you break that down to one number. So, for instance, if it came to 2051, it would be 2, 0, and 5 is a 7, and the 1 would be 8. The person's life path number would be, oh, I'm sorry, you have to use the 12. I can't do it. I didn't bring an example. I'm sorry. We'll go back again. It's your birth year. So, Ken, what is your birth year? You just had a birthday.
1544.
So 1544, and then the day. What is your day?
Okay.
Do you remember your day?
5.
Oh, okay.
1,
Just
5,
checking.
4, 4.
All right, so it's 144, the 5, and the 1, and you add those up. So the 1 and 4 and 5, that's 9, and 4 is 13. I hope I'm doing this right, and that's a 2. I don't know. I'm not good at doing it in my
10,
head.
18, 23, 24.
So it's
Then you add the 2 and the 4 together, it'd be 6.
6. Mm-hmm. So your life path number is 6. Mm-hmm. Okay, number 6. If you did it right, I'm not sure. I have to do it on a piece of paper just to make sure. And we talked about the numbers before that and what they mean. Maybe I can go over it really, really quick.
No, what's a 6, for example?
That's a 6, yes. And we're in a 6 universal year too. But I'm going to go over it. The number 1 is independence. The number 2 is feelings. The number 3 is communication. The number 4 is home and secrets. The number 5 is choices. The number 6 is relationships. It can be also self-sacrifice. The number 7 is self-reflection. The number 8 is an infinity number. What you put out there comes back to you tenfold. The number 9 is a humanitarian number. Just to give people an overall view. I mean, this isn't, obviously this isn't a lesson, it's a quick show. So you would add those all up and that would be your number. Now, how to do the personal year? This can be a little tricky, but it's very easy.
What's a personal year?
The personal year that we talked about, 2013, add up 2, 0, 1, and 3 comes to a 6. That's the universal year, means United States globally, that's what that is.
It's dealing with 6 energy.
It's 6 energy. The personal year is how you're dealing with your year on a personal basis with the numbers I just gave you. Okay, and that's fairly simple. You use your birth month and your birthday, and you already know this is a universal year 6. So your birthday is January 5th, so it's 6, and this is a 6 universal year, right? Okay. So you add that up, so you have.
Now you got a 12.
Mm-hmm. So 12, that breaks down to a 3, so it's a 3. Okay. The tricky part comes, different people, you were born in January, you start off with your personal year in January, but people that are born in May haven't gotten to their personal year in 2013 yet.
So
you see
they're
that?
still on
They're still on
2012.
12.
Still working on
So they
The year
would
before.
they would do 2012. We'll say it's the 5th, you know, and we'll say it's so it would be
8, 6,
yeah.
or
So
whatever,
it'd be
8, 5.
2012, which we already know is a 6. Not a 6, it's a 5. It's a 5.
yeah.
Adding that up, so 2012 would be a 5, and that's so you add the 2012. Maybe make it easy. 2012.
8 and 5
They're
is 13.
say they were born in May. In the audience, anyone born in May? Give me a time. June. All right, we have someone here. It's June, so we'll use June as an example. So we have 2012 because June hasn't come yet. Use the 6 in what day? 12. 12. So we break that down to a 3. So we have the 6, the 6 month, and then we have
The 5.
No, it's 3.
Oh, yeah, the 3 and then the 5.
Yes. So add that up.
This will guarantee to boggle
6,
people's mind.
3,
I
5. It becomes 14.
And then that would break
Which is
down
a
to
5.
So that would break down to a 5. So her universal year now is a 4. Okay. In 2013, you're on your birthday, because it's always on your birthday. It's not just the month. So say someone's born at in the 30th. Well, they haven't had their birthday yet. So that it is a little bit more complicated in that sense. And just like the numbers I was speaking about, with the 1 and et cetera mean, is to pay attention to those months. So for Mariah, she has to pay attention to the month 4. I mean, not the month 4, the personal year 4. And what the meaning is of that. And if I mentioned before, it's a spiritual it's a time for spirituality, to understand yourself from a different viewpoint, sort of letting things out there take over instead of you trying, to be in control. And the universal year, there's some people, like I happen to have a 4 in my birthday, but say someone doesn't have a 4. They've never experienced a 4. They don't have it in their name. They don't have it in their life path number, but they have a universal 4. They may feel it worse because they're not used to that vibration.
It's more challenging.
It's going to be more challenging. But on the other hand, more eye-opening for new things to be coming their way. So it's like everything. We talked about vibration. It's how you look at something is what makes your present moment perfect. If you even have something happening to you that's negative, or you feel it's negative, that's the time to reflect. I know someone that went through a two-year thing of depression and that type of thing, and it's like, well, that's the time to relax. Depression doesn't have to be, obviously if you can't handle things, it's different, you need a doctor, but feeling on and off at different times, that means your time to meditate. It's a time that you shouldn't be with people as much, not taking on anyone else's energy. And speaking of energy, I'm jumping around a little bit, I like to talk about energy in the sense that when you're around people that have a negative energy, or an energy that sort of doesn't flow, because energy is supposed to flow through us, when you walk in a room, you can tell if it's harmful or not for you. So what you do, instead of keeping that energy in, which then makes I would say it sort of like makes a density to your heart chakra.
And eventually can actually make you physically ill.
Can make you physically ill, or even angry. So then you're acting out things, you don't even know what you're doing. It may be against your nature to be angry, but you're acting against this because you have this density in you. So what to do, whether it's a parent, a child, a friend, that someone, a friend that you really like, but there's times that this friend just ain't getting it. You need to be away from that friend. You need space. And here again, it brings us back to the present moment, to have an understanding how you are feeling. And this isn't something that you do like once in a while. You do it all the time. So say you have, and especially at family gatherings, with the holidays and everything, how that can be. There may be a brother or a sister or someone that you just rub each other the wrong way.
Each other.
And you know what? It's okay. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to fix that person. You don't have to fix yourself. It's stay away. You have a question, or you don't.
No.
Oh, you.
That's okay.
You go ahead.
The average person who would probably have a hard time following a complex explanation of a simple thing once they understand it. How do they use it?
The thing is sometimes you just don't have to understand things. You don't have to understand why your mother yells at you when you're a good kid. You don't have to understand that. It's a waste of time. All you have to do is find.
Why is the worst question you
Yeah.
can ask.
The thing what you
love
have,
why.
what you have to do, what I would say for a child, have to do is not get into the blame or guilt or blaming that other person. It's to find your center and what's right for you. And yes, if you're 3 years old, that's a little complicated. But if you're a teenager, which can be complicated too, all of us have been teenagers. It's not. I'm not saying it's easy. Nothing's easy. But that means you need your space. You need to have an understanding that for some reason, you're driving this person crazy. It's not your fault.
Okay, so if you've got a conflict within your family,
Which probably everybody is.
whatever, and you're trying to understand your other half,
Okay, so you're
So-
saying partnerships. Okay.
something.
All
If
right.
you take their number and you work it out, I mean,
Have an understanding.
they might have to go to a bookstore for this one. But they get to that person's number and they do the simple mathematics, and they can put an understanding of that person's behavior
Yes.
into a logical sequence of understanding.
Yes, you
Is this
can.
what we're
You
trying
can.
to
It's
Yes,
just
you
like
can.
a
So
lot
that's
of
what I'm
people-
trying to say is how do people use this?
That-
So they
that's-
can use that as a tool to,
Yes, the easy. Yes, the
Interpretation
book. My books do, especially the numerology book, does go into detail for that. Okay, but in a simplistic way of speaking, all the books in the world, you can read 100 million self-help books. And the simplest way to put it is you can't control other people's feelings. You can't make someone love you. You can't make someone like you. And if there's something about you that irritates someone, you can't fix it. That is reality, because you can't fix someone else. The only one you can fix is yourself. And how do you fix yourself? Is through your center and balance. It's stopping and having an awareness who you are as a person.
that takes us back to meditation.
Yes, and meditation doesn't have to be like the Buddhists would have you meditate maybe 20 hours, not 20 hours, 20 minutes or 2 hours or this type of thing. All you have to do is sit and do nothing. Maybe listen to music, listen to a bird sing. When I walk, I listen to the grass, the leaves, the animals running through the woods. That's my meditation. I'm stopping. I'm not thinking of where I should be going, what I should be doing, who I should say, what phone call I should be doing. It's like stopping. That's what meditation is. And if you can do that, then you can listen, which is another form of meditation.
Yeah.
So when someone speaks to me, I hear everything they're saying. I hear what they don't say. I hear what they do say. I feel their body language, their aura around them, the energy they're giving off. Because we're connected. We're all connected. Everybody can know anything they want. All I have to do is be in the present moment and be open to
Everybody's
it.
psychic. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like developing a muscle.
That's right.
The numerology, though, is like astrology in that you can get a better understanding of who you are and a better understanding who your partner is in the
Yes.
case of your question. Numerology will tell you a great deal.
But you also have to listen. You have to have an understanding of that, why you're having this great, because my husband and I are very different. Okay, so I have an understanding of where he's coming from. He may not understand where I'm coming from, but it doesn't matter, as long as I understand where I'm coming from.
He's logical.
You know, well, I
Okay.
don't know. Sometimes I don't think he is.
This book, Searching Within,
Yes.
A Spiritual Journey, it just fascinates me.
Yes.
I don't think you were planning on talking about this, but
Oh No, that's why I brought it, to talk about it. Yes.
What is that? This is
Well-
your journey?
No, this is everybody's journey. See how it has a little opening with the
doorway?
The doorway opening,
Okay.
and it's sort of like fuzzy in the background. That means your spiritual journey.
That's pollution.
No, no. What that spiritual journey means that you just don't know. You don't even know.
Oh, you can't see where you're going?
You can't see where you're going, and you have no control on what is out there. In other words, the new. We're having the spiritual journey is for yourself. And although we have, we want to control each other, what time we eat and where we're going to go and how we're going to do it, and he said and she said and all this type of thing, the spiritual journey is saying, I'm open to all new things. And it's a doorway to really live a fulfilling life. It's really, if you go that route, you have everything you want, because everything you want is what you need.
How much of it, before we're born, we plan out our lifetimes to a certain extent,
Well, that's what you say.
in my belief.
Okay.
And we have
That's
free
okay.
will because we don't remember. Most people don't remember before the birth. They don't remember this pathway that we're planning on doing.
Okay.
And we have free will come into this. And we're on a spiritual journey. Suppose our free will doesn't agree with our spirit's pathway of what should happen within our lifetime.
Josie's going to say something, then I'll say something after that.
In my belief, you might say no to a relationship with somebody, let's say, because they're the next thing on your path, and Spirit will find another way to offer you the opportunities, because everything you encounter is an opportunity.
Same person or different person, different lesson?
It depends.
Same lesson, I should say.
It can be both. It depends on what the circumstances are. I mean, if you reject someone very openly, it's not likely you'll have the same opportunity again.
But could you have the same spiritual lesson with a different individual?
It would be very similar.
Nothing's the same. You can't put your foot in the water. The water is moving, and you put your foot in the water. That's gone.
Yes.
So nothing is
Similar
nothing's
is all that they can
similar.
come up with.
That's the best it'll ever get. But I want to get back to what you said. You feel that we were born with a particular journey, and now we're on this journey, and that's where our free will is. Our free will, the biggest part of our free will, is to get our own act together. That's our free will.
We come into these lifetimes for lessons and experiences, meaning of life.
Yeah, but I'm living in the present moment, and I'm saying it doesn't matter about lessons. It doesn't matter about experiences. It matters right now. What am I doing right this minute? That's all there is, because then there's the next minute and the next minute. And I can only do that on a personal level, in a spiritual sense. That's where the door is open, because I just don't know. I can meet someone, but I'm going to listen with my whole being to realize something that I never would have realized before. And I can't do that if I've got my mind going in circles every minute thinking of something else. So your journey, your spiritual journey, is not fighting anything. Your free will is always there. But your free will, you have to use it. You use your free will. And going to a guru isn't your free will. It's like listening to yourself. It's scary, listening to yourself, because you remember all your mistakes you made. But that's then, and this is now. You know? So
Mistakes
those mistakes are gone.
mistakes that
Here
give
we
you
go
something to
again.
laugh at, you know?
I have a line that I heard the other day. I think it's wonderful. It said, mistakes are okay if you don't keep making the same one, or you only can make the one mistake, because that's an experience.
They
you
were
know?
in the family circle, and I think it was in the journal yesterday or Sunday maybe.
Yeah.
Grandma says it's okay to make mistakes as long as you don't keep making the same one.
All right, so that's okay.
Kind of what you're saying.
So it's the same idea.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true, as long as you're not making the same one. But again, we go back to balance and experiences and living in the present moment. That's when things are just flowing. The energy is just flowing. It's not like putting up walls and that type of thing. I like to read a poem on forgiveness.
Okay. I was going to ask you about
And
that.
it goes with my...
It goes with these pictures.
The picture, I take pictures, and then I put poems with the pictures. And this one I wrote on forgiveness because people have different ideas what forgiveness means. And this is my little story. Forgiveness. Delving into my mind, I lay awake thinking of my mistake. I can't rationalize what I've done. I'm not trying to. I don't understand this myself. Maybe it was our arguments, or the way you looked at me. Some kind of misinformation that froze a crust of ice around my heart. Until I could not value my existence or walk with my head held high. Sadly, we lost the joyful dance. Now that the illusion is broken, I reach out to you with an open heart, my hand extended, hoping you'll understand. Can we reach a state of forgiveness without blame? Is it possible to bring our gentle spirits to a place of trust, a place brimming with love? You tell me, I'll be waiting. And
You're really very good at that, you know.
Thank you.
And knowing you, I have to ask,
Yes.
how many times did you rewrite that until you were happy?
This one here was one of my easier ones. And the one I did on the other show, I think I only changed a few words. But I've had ones that, I still have ones that I'm working on with the new book that I keep going over and over and I'm not particularly happy with. But I'll have an idea and I may just do a paragraph and just leave it and then go back to it and meditate on it. And
Well, that was the next question. How long did it take on some of them?
Yeah, on
this
some,
one was
some of
fairly
them I've
quick, I guess.
had where you can't give up on this wonderful paragraph, but you can't find the rest of it to go with it, this type of thing. So I have quite a few of those around, and I have actually done a few paragraphs here and there, or sentences here and there, and then put them together. When you're in the zone, I call it the zone, when you're in that place, and it's the right timing, it will flow.
Now,
Well,
for
it's
people who don't
inspired.
know, you're, what would be the proper term, an accomplished empath?
Yes.
Do you use those inner wisdoms with this, or is this an intellectual?
No, it's through empath. Actually, through doing readings and numerology and meeting all people through life, I've heard just about every kind of story there is to hear. And I put myself, I'll sometimes think of the person. I'll have the idea, and then I'll think of the person that sort of drags me into that place. On forgiveness, on this poem, it was more or less a composite of myself and my husband and other people that I know as a feeling, because the thing that stood out for me the most is, can we reach a state of forgiveness without blame? Because forgiveness is not saying, I'm not angry at you anymore, even though you fouled up. It's like letting it go, because everyone makes mistakes. Depends on how big the mistake is, and if you even want to forgive that person.
Well,
it's up to
wouldn't
you.
it depend on the other person's intent with whatever they did to alienate you, if it was a mistake or if it was something that they were planning on doing? Or
Yes.
you know.
Well, it all boils back to yourself. There's some energies you just shouldn't be with, and that's how it is. I don't sit here saying I understand how it all works, because I don't know a thing. All I know is what I know, and if someone's energy isn't right, then I know I have to stay away. I don't know why. I just know I'm
Yep.
not supposed to be
That's
near that.
where you're.
But the forgiveness thing that I'm talking about here is where you're both in the same place and the timing is right, and it's like not to go back and say he said, she said, and you just move on. Of course, if the mistake is over and over and the same thing happening, well then that's doesn't work, because that's not anything to do with forgiveness. That's being taken advantage of.
This is more personal relationships, I guess, than.
Oh, yes, it's personal, but aren't we all, I mean, that's where forgiveness comes in. It's all personal relationships, you know, that's how it works. And I want to give you a compliment because you have such a wonderful garden, and he calls me every spring, summer type of time. And the pictures that I have here, this one here was taken on Ridge Road. It was an old barn that was pulled down. It was in the fall that I took that one.
Smithfield?
In Smithfield. And this one here is Bleeding Heart. Is that the correct name of the flower? He knows all the names of the flowers. I just take the pictures. He'll call me and he'll say, "Why don't you come over?" And I really like that one. I did some.
Oh, that's from my yard?
Yes, it had like all vines hanging all through it. So you had all the vines, but I want it to be outstanding, so I took the vine part of it away because you had
Okay.
plants in the back, and then I put a little saying with them. And I'm pretty sure that was at your place. Do you have those daisies at your place or not? Because
That's more of a sunflower.
A sunflower.
I tried to grow them because I'm a spiritualist, and
Yeah.
that's a symbol of spiritualism.
Well, Josie just told me that, yeah.
And,
yeah. So that
I don't
was
remember.
I'm pretty sure, because
They come and go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was from your yard, and that's when I. The interesting part about that, in the background, it has this cloudy or spiritual type of. See how the background is cloudy? I didn't do that digitally.
I see what you're talking about. Okay.
That came out that
That just
way.
happened.
That came out that way. So
It's almost like energy.
Yes,
Yeah.
there were obviously plants and foliage all the way around, but it came out that way, and I said, "Oh, I like that."
You know what it looks like?
What?
It looks like spiritual flowers.
Oh, I'm starting to see what you're saying with the little.
They're in
yes.
they're in clusters with
In the
centers.
back.
Yeah,
Oh, for
they're in
Pete's sake.
clusters with dark centers, like a flower.
Oh, I never noticed that. It just looked like a cloud type of thing.
It's
and-
like one time from a bridge down in Connecticut. I had just bought a new digital camera. Click one side of the bridge, walk with the other side. Click. When I took it into CVS and I looked at the picture,
Yeah.
it was full of people.
Really.
And so you're
Really?
taking a picture of a garden,
Spirit
and it's spirit flowers.
Yes. Yeah,
If
and
that's, I mean, that's
Well,
my
like I
interpretation.
say, it
Somebody
came
else
out
might
that
see
You
it.
way.
removed the physical, but the remainder stayed.
What
The
do you-
spiritual essence.
Oh, yeah, yes,
stayed in
yes, yeah. So I thought that worked very well with forgiveness for that. I don't know. I didn't realize it was a spiritual type of flower.
Well,
and
yeah,
someone
okay.
asked me. I thought it was a daisy. That goes to show you what I know. I thought it was a close-up of a daisy, but you should know it's a sunflower. Maybe because of those big seedy things.
Yeah, the
Big seedy
seeds.
things are kind of a giveaway.
I thought
yeah.
a sunflower was brown in the middle.
Depends on the sunflower.
Yeah.
Oh, this
There
goes
are
to show you.
varieties.
Oh, all right. So that settles it, doesn't it?
Every
When
year
the
they give
seeds
away
are-
packages of them at the spiritualist churches for people to plant them and
Yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
I see. I see.
When the seeds are full, though, usually it does have a dark center.
yeah. Well,
Well, it depends.
she came
probably when you
over
took it.
early in the year when the peonies and stuff were out,
Yes,
so.
yes. And I have many pictures of the flowers with the poems, different
I
flowers.
just took a bunch of pictures of the snow, so we'll have to have you look at some
Some of the.
the Christmas lights in the covered of snow, kind of glowing through.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
kinda
that
neat.
looks pretty. Yeah. That looks
Anyway,
pretty.
we're going to run out of time here really shortly. And what's your next project?
My next project is to write a poetry book. I'm working on that now. I have an editor. And I'm writing a novel based on some of my experiences as a kid. And I haven't got a title for it yet.
Psychic stuff come through? Or
Well, what
just
I'm going
average
to do, what I'm going
kid?
to do, I'm going to put my philosophy, throw some of that in there too. I'm thinking I'm calling it Winnie Ann Adams and the Light Gatherers. So there's going to be definitely light gatherers in there. So that will be part of the little
Okay.
story.
I think you had mentioned that.
Yes, I did.
And I think you've been an inspiration to me with the sheer numbers of books that I keep dreaming books, and it's time I wrote one down, and it's time for us to say goodnight for Psychic Holistic Spotlight, and I hope you kind of enjoyed it, and I hope some of her wisdom came through to you. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Ta-da.